Yan. Mabuhay, my name is Professor Dr. Francisco Monato Ramos, ang inyong Mall of Asia. Ayan. So, nandito tayo ngayon para sa ating Lesson 2 ng ating Events Management class. Ayan. So, another lesson from the M.I.Ç.E. Meetings, incentives, conference, well, sa akin convention din and exhibits. Ayan. So, ang topic natin today ay event concept or conceptualization of events. Ayan. So, I really wanted to thank everyone, lalong-lalo na dun sa mga ideas na nakuha din natin sa internet. Ayan. So, sasabihin natin yung, i-discuss natin yung mga thoughts ng mga authors din para at least matulungan tayo sa ating talakayan for this matter. So, this video is made for purely academic purposes. Ayan. To help those students to learn more about conducting an event. Ayan. Or the most memorable event of their lives. And at least makakatulong tayo sa mas maraming tao, di ba? So, tulungan na natin ang isa't isa by clicking the like or share button. And if ever that you have suggestions, reactions, queries or inquiry, please do not hesitate to comment or write it down dun sa comment box down below this video para in at least mabasa natin at ma-include natin yung mga opinions ninyo dun sa mga susunod nating video. At if ever may makabasa nun, malay nyo, mas maganda yung sagot niya kaysa sa sagot ko. Yan. So, simulan natin. Ayan. So, simulan na natin. Ayan. So, pag sinabi natin conceptualization, ano ba yung naiisip natin? Wait. Brainstorm tayo. Well, ibang author, they would say that when we say concept, it's the general thought or the main idea, the main ambience, if ever events ang pinag-uusapan natin, di ba? Or, pwede na rin sigurong sabihin natin, yung pinaka-theme, di ba, ng event na gagawin natin. So, basically, we really have to use all the senses para maparamdam natin yung pinaka-main thought, concept, or idea natin in conducting one event. Ayan. So, another brainstorming ulit tayo. What is the importance of conceptualizing an event? Ano ba? Well, ang naisip kong important thing to consider is that we really have to, let the audience experience first the event, and then after experiencing that kind of event, yung tipong mariremember niya yung ginawa mong event, diba? So, one great importance ng event siguro is to make it more memorable. Ayan. And then, we were able to give that particular audience the thought that we really wanted to convey in conducting the said event, di ba? Kaya nga tayo gumawa ng isang gathering para ma-experience niya at the same time, yung tipong naaalala niya yung mga nangyari noon. Tapos, okay, ko pala yung gumawa ng ganong event. Diba? Kakaiba siya. Well, sa isang survey ng social tables or C-event, ayan, sa internet, ayan, ang sabi nila, we really have to improve, ayan, the attendees experience. Well, totoo naman talaga. Kasi, ang mga event naman talaga natin is more of what? It's more of an interactive one. In today's generation natin talaga, we really have this thought of the new era of using gadgets, di ba? Well, totoo yung survey. I really agree with the survey that we really have to integrate new technology. Ayan. In conducting one's event, especially the using the mobile phones, the computers. Well, here in the Philippines, mas maganda sana if we really have the fastest internet connection that we could have, di ba? Or possibly have. Kasi, in conducting such kind of event, hindi lang naman kasi tayo yung personal gathering. Well, as much as possible, mas maganda kung may personal interaction or face-to-face. Pero with this kind of setting or setup, we are in a pandemic stage. Mas maganda na rin yung meron tayong use of new technology, specifically of the use of gadgets, diba? And of course, the internet. There are a lot of events that really needs to have some interaction and collaboration. Kaya nga kung minsan may mga speakers tayo in some events like conference or convention, they really have this so-called icebreaker, diba? Kasi according to them, we could be more interactive. We could, attach to the speaker or what? We can get the attention of the audience, okay? And let them remember some things about that particular event when we are playing games, or should we say we have icebreakers, diba? Usually during or before mag-speak yung speaker, doon nagagawa yung mga ganitong activity. So in at least, we really have to find ways on how we could attach ourselves to the audience. Well, it's one great information that they state is that we have a lot of events na masyadong mahaba yung mga sessions, nabobore yung mga tao. So, mas maganda talaga if we have a shorter sessions. Well, I totally agree with this. We have shorter sessions kasi di ba, less information but it's all in the mind. Okay? So, okay, yun lang pala yung sinabi ni Sir. So, the speaker. So, ang dali nating tandaan. Diba? Kesa naman ang daming sinasabi ng speaker. Well, with due respect sa mga speaker ko, if ever man. Ayan. Pero, they were not able to, attach themselves to the audience. So, wala rin nangyayari. So, it's better to have a shorter session with the talks, for example lang, and then have an engagement with other people, diba? So, we could have more activities and more time for interactions and more time for shared knowledge. So, maganda yung ganong thought nga naman. Another information is that we really have to make our events more creative. Well, actually, most creative dapat. Dito papasok yung galing ng mga organizers natin, kung gaano sila ka-creative thinker, kung gaano sila, hindi naman kasi sa talino rin talaga to di ba? So, it's more of the team effort ng bawat isa of every member on how we could make this kind of event a very, very memorable one. The most creative way that we could really stage this kind of event or an event. So, it's a very, very it's a plus factor that this kind of event is the most creative one. Diba? Well, in addition, ulitin ko, ayan, we really have to inculcate in our event that a specific mandate of the law or by the local government on social distancing and other protocols just to safeguard everyone's participation in a particular event. Specifically right now, meron tayong tinatawag na new normal. However, for me, it's better to say that we are all normal and we're going to this normal life again. Pero with the new learnings, ayan, because of this protocol. So, mas maganda if we could also consider yung social distancing, wear of face shield or face mask, if ever hindi pa vaccinated, or if ever man, sana mas maganda, at least may protection kung vaccinated tayo. In ways, we really have to make this event or gathering a standout event. Ayan. So, yung concept natin, di ba? Very unique and very memorable. Paulit-ulit ko sasabihin yun. It should be very unique and very memorable. According to Eventbrite blog, ayan, so I really wanted to commend the writers. Ayan. They have these steps on how we could make this event a standout. So, they would say that, well, we really have to stay focused and look at our audience. So, they are our target market kasi. So, when we are going to stage one event, we really have to study our target market. Sino ba sila? Who are they? And what is the age bracket? Diba? Kasi if ever they are yuppies or tender age, in at least very playful yung ambience, and if ever they are tawag dito, according to age muna tayo, if ever man they are in between 21 to 30, so mga young professionals, we really have to, well, in at least have this kind of ambience na very parang nasa gig ka lang, no? Parang very playful, but there is a certain concept na, wow, according to generation. Well, for older or elderly events, ayan, in ways, we really have to consider the era na they were born, kasi yun usually ang tawag dito, yung magiging concept natin to make this kind of event a very memorable for them. Okay? So, to start up, we really have to study the market, diba? So, in at least, we may know and may time pa tayo, or we have a lot of a long period of time to at least make our event that doable in any age bracket that we have. Ayan. Aside from that, we can also categorize our market accordingly by profession, di ba? For example, kanina sabi ko nga, mga young professional, probably we have some businessmen. So, usually, ang mga businessmen, more of gatherings of talking with each other. So, siguro ang setup natin, something that's very casual for them, di ba? What else? Well, the music na ipi-play during that particular event, di ba? So, in at least we can also categorize our market according to the profession. Well, in ways, in some events kasi, more people, or should we say that there is a market na gustong magpunta in this particular place and have their event in this particular place because they really wanted to enjoy the place. Okay, with that, mas madali tayo makakapag-conceptualize kasi what they really up to is the culture or the ambience of that particular event location. So, in considering that particular tawag dito, particular thought of our market, we really have to take credit to the locals, di ba? Of that particular event or of that particular place where our event will be staged. In ways, makakapag-connect tayo with the local, and we can ask them if they could also let them experience yung culture nila, yung tradition nila with our market. In at least there is an exchange of culture, 'di ba? Doon pa lang meron ng exchange of information, knowledge, and experience. Kakaiba siya. Well, accordingly, sabi rin ng article is that we have to add a little attraction dun sa main event natin or dun sa theme natin that we are going to use in that particular event. For example, sige, simplihan natin, a birthday party of a 10-year-old girl. So, if ever may birthday party tayo, so 10-year-old yung market, yung celebrant natin, and then yung market natin na attendees, probably mga children din. So, we have to consider the style of the place. It should be very, very playful. And then the sounds that we're going to use, or the music that we're going to use, it must be, well, child-friendly, di ba? So, in at least, ano pa ba yung pwede mong idagdag? Brainstorm tayo, di ba? Pag ikaw, you have a 10-year-old client who really wants to celebrate her birthday, so what are those add-ons that you're going to give her? So, syempre, pwede kang maglagay din ng mga candy stations, di ba? Ng ice cream stations or cake stations, whatever stations that really relates to that particular kid. Yan. To make it very doable for them na at their age, na-appreciate nila, ito yung 10-year-old or the 10th birthday celebration of this girl, di ba? So, in at least, patok yung event natin. Another consideration din, syempre yung venue. Saan ba natin po pwedeng gawin yung event? Actually, it's one, well, sabi ko nga in our previous video, where are we going to stage that particular event to make it more memorable and safe to our participants? Especially ngayon, we really have to consider that protocol, di ba, for our safety. We need a larger venue kasi usually because of, well, the pandemic, usually ang venue natin, the population is cut down to a certain percentage. For example, good for 100 yung capacity ng venue, ginawa na lang 50 packs capacity. So that's one consideration that we really have to follow. And then aside from that, masyado na rin naman tayong traditional in terms of the venue. Example, consider it. Is it indoor or outdoor? Sabi ko nga, it's more challenging if we could do it outdoor. If it is indoor, yeah, it's very common if you wanted to hold that particular event in a hotel or dun sa kanilang garden, di ba? However, there are a lot of creative venues where you could also use. Well, dati ang wedding sa, well, either sa courtroom or sa church. But right now, it's more of the beach area, di ba? So, you could use your creative mind, okay, in choosing that particular venue to make it, okay, very unique. Pwede pa, you can also stage that particular event in this particular, tawag dito, particular place. So, in ways, the venue really speaks up with the memorable staging of that particular event. So, if ever man, you can also use the historical sites that we have, di ba? Or near the locality of that particular person. Kasi, one thing to consider is the budget. Well, balik tayo dun sa article ng Cvent blog. Kasi it's very doable to discuss naman. We also discussed this in the previous video in staging the event and how to start with its conceptualization. We really have to consider, well, first video natin, we were able to ask who, what, where, when, and how. However, magkakaroon lang tayo ng konting konting bale, ayan, konting specifications, ayan, sa mga tanong with our prospective client. For example, one question they would say is that, why this event should be held, or why we should stage this event. Particularly, well, this particular question may be answered by the guest also, or dun sa mismong natin, client natin, di ba? So, yung answer would be coming from our client, yung mag-i-event talaga. Kasi nga tayo ay event planner, for example lang for this academic video. We really have to set on our objectives, di ba? Doon sa first video natin, in at least we have 3 objectives to write on, or sana ma-brainstorm natin to make this particular event to have this backbone for our particular event. And then we also ask who will be the stakeholders. Sabi nga nila, who are those major partners that we are going to use, because they are very they are really necessary for the staging of that particular event. In at least we could also contact them and have a rapport. In at least during that particular event, magkakakilala na tayo, di ba? So ang dali nating masolusyonan yung mga problema if there are problems, and then if there are some conflicts, in at least days before, sir, we have this kind of problem, ganito, in at least we could talk with them casually, diba? So one important note is that we really need to know our stakeholders or our event partners. And then doon sa mga previous videos natin, we were able to ask where will be this event be staged. In at least alam na natin what are those basic things around the place, diba? Well, consideration natin the safety and security always, because safety and security is what? It's a necessity talaga, diba? Hindi lang siya want. Ang sabi nga, it's parang kumbaga sa important triangle, nandoon siya sa taas, no? Yung safety and security. Aside from that, we really need to know some kung safety and security, we really need to know those areas, for example, the nearest hospital, the nearest police station. Ayan, pag sa tour kasi mas lalo akong meticulous in terms of safety. Kaya before the tour, check ko saan ba dito ang pinakamalapit na hospital. May asthma kasi ako, kaya alam ko na kung saan ako tatakbo. And then aside from that, we really have to consider also the date of the event, kasi baka mamaya sa isang linggo na yun, and this kind of event takes a lot of days or weeks or months in preparation, di ba? Well, we cannot also blame our customers or clients if ever they have lesser time to consult us. Kaya nga tayo kinuha as event professionals or event planners, because they are helpless. So what we could do is that in at least we know where and when, katulad nga doon sa previous video natin, when are this event going to be staged. In at least alam natin we are prepared. Okay, for this week we should finish this one. For this period we were able to do this one, di ba? So it's a process. Ayan, so it's a process. And then one important thing to know is that what is that particular sabi nila content, di ba? Or should we say, what are those ideas that you really wanted to leave with the guest, or you really wanted that particular attendees to know about your event, okay? So in at least, this is a very memorable event because on this event, I was able to know yung mga ganitong information, diba? So they were able to, sabi nga dun sa isa kong convention na natin as much as possible, our audience should, they were able to use the 6 senses. Ayan, okay? 6 senses talaga. Sight, you were able to see the ambience, wow. You were able to hear, wow. Okay, the music is there. What else? Well, yung food, syempre, you were able to taste the food. Yan. And then yung smell. Ayan, 'di ba? You were able to smell those nice well, not only perfumes, 'di ba? Yung mga scents natin during that particular event, 'di ba? So, and at least wala naman sigurong may allergy that dun sa mga participants natin. And then last, second to the last, 'di ba daw? 6 senses talaga. Ano ko lang 5 senses lang. Tawag dito, yung touch, okay? Yung something that you were able to touch, ayan, yung, okay, makinis, yeah. So, ay, malambot, ayan, it's soft. And then for me, yung siguro yung ka-sixth sense is the totality or the intangible feeling that you could really felt during that particular event that, okay, this is the total event. Ayan, yung umiikot talaga yung mata mo, di ba? Yung jaw-dropping talaga yung pagpasok mo pa lang, okay, panalo tong video. So, ayan, maraming salamat nga pala sa ating mga kinuhanan ng ideas or information sa net, particularly sa cvent.com at saka sa cvent.com and socialtables.com and then even eventbrite.com. So, in at least yung mga information nila nakatulong din sa ating academic learnings, ayan, or discussion. So, sana they could also tawag dito, write more information so that we could also share this knowledge, 'di ba, sa mas maraming tao. So this video is, well, for academic purpose lang talaga, and then it's not for any compensatory means, okay? And if ever that you really wanted to know, to ask anything about staging an event, please, again, do not hesitate to write or jot anything dun sa comment box down below, ayan, so that we could also include that in our next videos. Again, maraming salamat dito sa mga kinuhanan natin ng information, and more power to them. In at least nagdagdag lang ako ng mga personal information natin kasi in staging those particular events during the past events that we had or activities that we had in school, ang hirap, okay? It really entails a lot of effort. So totoo yung mga sinabi nila, we were able to experience that. That is why we are also sharing those particular bright informations from them. I'm just confirming that they are all true. It so happened that in addition, again, the only difference is that we are in a pandemic stage. So all of those information, yes, it's true, but definitely we really have to add on the protocols and the safety measures for our participants to be safe, okay, in staging this particular event that we are going to conduct. And what else? Ayan, please like, share, and subscribe if ever you find this video very helpful. This learning should be shared because I believe that educating one's child will definitely bring them to good fortune. Ayan, so maraming salamat po. Ayan, if ever man, so may mga topics kayo na gusto ninyong i-discuss natin, anything under the sun about tourism and hospitality management, you can just send an email to me, or again, write it down dun sa comment box down below. Maraming salamat. Again, this is your Professor, Dr. Francisco Monato Ramos, ang inyong Mall of Asia, nagsasabing until next video natin. Goodbye!